a California man who served nearly 40 years in prison for murders of a woman and her 4-year-old son that he said he did not commit, has been pardoned by Gov. Jerry Brown after a new investigation proved he was wrongly convicted. Craig R. Coley, who is now 70, was arrested on November 11, 1978, for the murder of Rhonda Wicht, 24, who had recently ended their relationship. Ms. Wicht was found beaten and strangled, apparently with a macrame rope, in her apartment in Simi Valley, California, the Ventura County District Attorney's Office said. Her son, Daniel, had been smothered. Mr. Coley's first trial, in 1979, ended with a hung jury, but he was found guilty in a retrial the next year and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. But on Monday, Ventura County District Attorney Gregory D. Totten and the Simi Valley Police Chief David M. Livingstone announced that they were supporting a clemency appeal by Mr. Craig, saying that new DNA tests conducted during a year-long investigation would support a finding of factual innocence. Governor Brown signed the pardon on Wednesday, and Mr. Coley walked out of the state prison in Lancaster the same day, as a free man. "This case is tragic," Mr. Totten and Chief Livingstone wrote. "An innocent woman and small child were murdered." Craig Coley has spent 39 years in custody for a crime he likely did not commit. They added, "The real murder or murderers have not been brought to justice." Mr. Coley, who had no criminal record at the time of his arrest, was a model inmate for the nearly 4 decades he spent in prison, pursuing religion and staying away from gangs and violence, Governor Brown said in a statement announcing the pardon. When Mr. Coley petitioned for clemency in 2015, Governor Brown asked the Board of Parole Hearings to conduct an investigation. It found that several police officials had doubts about Mr. Coley's guilt and said they believed that Mr. Coley had been framed or that evidence had been mishandled. Then the police department stepped in. Chief Livingstone opened an investigation in October 2016, consulting with a retired detective who also expressed concerns about Mr. Coley's conviction. Biological samples that were thought to have been discarded or missing were soon located in a private laboratory. In new tests, DNA found on a key piece of evidence matched the DNA of other individuals, not that of Mr. Coley, the district attorney said. Advanced forensic techniques that were not available at the time of the murder were carried out, and witnesses were interviewed, some of them as recently as this month. As a result, we no longer have confidence in the weight of the evidence used to convict Mr. Coley, Mr. Totten and Chief Livingstone said. Now that he is free, Mr. Coley has been assigned a public defender, and he may apply to receive compensation of $140 for every day he spent behind bars, which works out to about $1.9 million, Michael D. Schwartz, a special assistant district attorney, said in an email on Thursday. "My understanding is that he has a place to stay," Mr. Schwartz said.